Hello and welcome back to Alice Talks Football and welcome back to another live Manchester United update show on the channel. Today's video is a little bit of a match preview to the Manchester derby tomorrow. We'll be talking about lineups, Cavani, Lindelof, Varane and Pogba probably up for the derby tomorrow. So I'll be talking about how Manchester United lineup. We'll be getting into some derby news, all of that, talk about who should play, who should not play. But we'll also be addressing, before we get into the Manchester derby preview, all the latest Manchester United news, updates, and more going on at the moment, because Zinedine Zidane to Manchester United news have recently popped up again. We knew a couple of weeks ago it was going to be Zidane or Conte to Manchester United if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got sacked. And with Conte going back to Spurs, well, not back to Spurs, but back to the Premier League to Spurs, Zidane's the only realistic option that Manchester United can get right now in the international break. And if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer gets a thrashing at home to Manchester City, there's a strong chance he could potentially be sacked into the international break. Now, I think if Ole wins or draws, we don't get a new manager. But I think if Ole loses, there's potential for Zidane to come in. Apparently, he turned down Newcastle United because he actually does want the United job and he's taken a U-turn in his plans. I'll get into that in more depth later in the video. Also, rumours about Manchester United keeping with Ole to the end of the season. They're going for Ten Hag. We'll also be analysing that. My question to you guys in the live chat, so let me know your answer to this in the live chat. But would you rather get Zidane in the international break or wait till the end of the season with Ole and then get Ten Hag in the summer? Let me know that down below. We'll be talking about Donny van der Beek. We'll be talking about Southgate's comments on Greenwood. I'll be talking about my reaction to the England squad yesterday, as well as Zidane news, Ten Hag news, Ole future news, transfer news. Tchouameni to Manchester United. Will we play 5 at the back versus Manchester City tomorrow? Who will play and more? So make sure you smash a like on the video. Share this video if you haven't already. Comment your thoughts down below. Ten Hag or Zidane? Let me know in the live chat. And subscribe to the channel if you're new. I was meant to be live yesterday, guys, but I was just so busy that I wouldn't have been able to go live till like 10 p.m. anyway. And I was way too tired. So I do apologise for not going live yesterday. And I do want to just throw out that this video, by the way, guys, is sponsored by Manscaped. You can probably see that in the bottom corner. And you're probably like, Alice, you're not a man. Why are you sponsoring Manscaped? All of that, you know, that's probably what you're thinking. Look, as a girl, we like men that use Manscaped, you know, keep in good shape down there. And this is, I think they call it the lawn mower trimmer, by the way, guys. So if you use the code ATF, you can get 20% off Manscaped and free shipping. This sleeked, well-designed and optimized trimmer is the best thing in the market for a clean shave. And it's waterproof, guys, so you can use it in the shower to spare a mess. It's called the Lawnmower 4.0. It allows you to customize your trim. It's got additional guard length, sizes 1 to 4. So you know what they say, trimming the bushes makes the tree look taller. So as a girl, we like men that use Manscaped. So there you go. Link in the description to get that. That is the sponsor. But early comment here saying, get Zidane in the international break. Good work, Alice. And another comment here saying, Zidane now, please. We need a change and a new coaching team. A lot of people are so done with Ole that they, even though Ten Hag probably a lot of people's first choice, I get the impression a lot of you are just so done with Ole. You're just like, nah, I can't wait to the end of the season. Like, we might be in the Europa League, you know, if we wait to the end of the season. Get Zidane in now. I'm guessing that is the vibe of most of you guys. But make sure you smash a like on the video if you haven't already. Do subscribe to the channel if you're new, because we've got lots and lots to talk about as well. So give me just 1 minute. There we go. Okay, so first of all, guys, okay. It's just come out today that Cavani will not play tomorrow. Cavani, Varane and Paul Pogba will 100% not play the Manchester derby tomorrow, and Lindelof's a knock. So if Varane and Lindelof are injured, if Cavani's injured, if Paul Pogba's injured, they can't play. But I'm just going to phrase that now, and I said this in my last live stream, which got 27,000 views, so thank you very much. That's one of my most viewed videos on this channel. But if Eric Bailly does not start in the Manchester derby tomorrow, it's a sackable offence from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And you're probably like, what, just for not starting Bailly? Harry Maguire has been shit all season. Harry Maguire is still not fully fit. Lindelof is not fully fit. Varane's not fully fit. If he plays an injured Lindelof over Eric Bailly, that's a sackable offence. I like Lindelof. I think Lindelof's been better than Maguire this season. But Eric Bailly has to start versus Manchester City. After Varane, he's been our best centre-back this season and he started 2 games. Maguire has been dreadful. If anything, Maguire should be dropped and Bailly should be starting. And any elite coach, any elite manager would be starting Eric Bailly after the performance he put in versus Atalanta. If you knew nothing about Manchester United and someone said to you, put which defender's the £80 million record signing, which defender's the defender that only plays if everyone else is injured, everyone would have said Eric Bailly's your £80 million man and Maguire's the defender that only plays if everyone else is injured. Because that's how bad Maguire was and that's how good Eric Bailly was. And I tell you now, if he plays an injured Lindelof and drops Eric Bailly after that performance, you might as well sack him. Because if anyone needs to be dropped, Harry Maguire. You can play Lindelof and Bailly, cool. Harry Maguire deserves to be dropped. But Eric Bailly took his chance. And Solskjaer says if these players take their chance, they'll get game time. Eric Bailly, Donny van de Beek and Jadon Sancho took their chance, especially Eric Bailly because he got 90 minutes. So I want to see him start tomorrow. I love big Eric Bailly. Also, Jadon Sancho and Donny van de Beek, I want to see them use the subs tomorrow. I know Ollie probably won't start them. I'd like to see one of them start. We know that's not going to happen. We know it's going to be McFred. We know Donny hasn't got a chance. But I'd like to see Donny be used as a sub. Because I've seen a lot of times when we McTominay comes on as a sub before Donny when we need a goal. I'm sorry. I'm going to throw this out there. Injured McTominay came on versus Southampton when we needed a goal and made no impact on the game. Donny van de Beek had 5 minutes versus Atalanta, and we had the best 5 minutes of the game when he came on. Donny can make an impact going forward as well. So I do want to see Donny used as a sub. Hopefully start, but I'm not going to push it too much. We've got news about Kessie in January. We've got news about Tchouaméni, so stay tuned for that. But I do want to get into Zidane news. I do want to get into Ollie's future news. And then I will get my predicted lineup ahead. And then we're going to do a Bruno shout-out. We're going to be talking about Greenwood. We're going to talk about Southgate. So Southgate, comments on Greenwood and all that. So smash a like, subscribe, share the video, and all of that. But could this be Ollie's last game tomorrow, guys? Could this be Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's last game tomorrow? What are my thoughts on this? So there's news articles and speculation that if Ollie loses to Manchester City, he will be sacked, and it could be Zidane coming in the international break. Now, apparently Manchester United's first choice manager is Brendan Rodgers, followed by Pochettino, but Brendan Rodgers won't go down well with the fans because he's ex-Liverpool, and I don't think he'll want to leave Leicester. Pochettino's at PSG, so then that leaves us with Zidane and Ten Hag. Now, apparently Ten Hag's first choice for the summer, but it would be hard to get Ten Hag in the international break, which leaves us with Zinedine Zidane as the manager option in the international break, guys. Now, the news coming out, and this came out from a Spanish source, I believe, called El Español, so I'm assuming they're Spanish. They reported on Tuesday that Zidane declined the chance to manage Newcastle because he would rather take the United job as well as France in his sights. So apparently Zinedine Zidane didn't want Newcastle because if he's going to manage in England, he'd want Manchester United, and he also quite likes the idea of managing France as well. He wants to get back into management. That is news coming out from Spain. So this means should results under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer continue to worsen, there's a chance that the Real Madrid icon could take over. And as we know, Zidane has a brilliant relationship with Paul Pogba. I think he would get the best out of Paul Pogba. Varane's got a good relationship with Zidane. I'm sure Anthony Martial would probably be revived under Zinedine Zidane. I think that Cristiano Ronaldo obviously won like 3 Champions Leagues with Zidane as well. So, although Zidane has no experience in the Premier League, he has no English experience, I think if you get to Tchouaméni and Paul Pogba, Zidane also wanted Donny van de Beek at Real Madrid. I'm not against Zidane to Manchester United. Even though he has no Premier League experience, I'm not against Zidane to Manchester United because he wanted Donny van de Beek at Real Madrid. He plays a 4-3-3 attacking football. He's played with Ronaldo. He's played with Varane. He likes Paul Pogba. He likes Martial. It could attract someone like Tchouaméni, who we want to see with Paul Pogba in the middle. We are linked to going in for Tchouaméni. So I'd really, really like to see Zinedine Zidane at Manchester United. And I think if we do lose to Manchester City, there's potential for it to happen. If we draw or we beat Manchester City, Ollie is staying manager. Ollie will be Man United manager. If we get a win or we get a draw. If we get a loss tomorrow, the pressure is on, especially if fans start to turn and the Glazers out, protest happens again and pressure goes on the Glazers, then something will definitely happen. And Zidane is the likely option. And we thought Zidane didn't want Manchester United, but the news coming out is that Zidane is ready to take the United job if he's offered the chance to take a U-turn. That's why I wasn't interested in Newcastle United. So I think that's quite interesting news. Let me know your thoughts on that down below as well. Smash a like on the video. Let's go for 300 likes. So hit that like button. But I think that's really interesting news. I think for me, I would definitely take Zidane. Look, I would rather have Ten Hag than Zinedine Zidane because I think as a long-term manager, a manager that installs a philosophy, a manager that is done well, won trophies, plays attacking nice football with good young players. I would like Erik Ten Hag, but I know he'll be very, very hard to get in the international break. Do I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to lose to Manchester City tomorrow? Do I think he's going to be sacked? And you know what? I can't tell you that because the thing is with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is whenever we play Manchester City, we've normally gone in a rough patch, and then we play Manchester City, we get that win and we get that boost. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has beaten Pep Guardiola 4 times in the Premier League, guys. We've not lost to Manchester City in the Premier League in the last 2 seasons. Ole has this weird thing over Pep, where we do often get a result. The only problem is Ole knows if he loses, he could be sacked. Ole knows if he loses, he could be sacked. So we could play like absolute cowards and part of the bus. And I tell you this now, when you attack that Manchester City defence, they're not that good. We've seen them conceded quite a few goals this season, Manchester City. If you attack that Man City defence, they're not that good. And the problem with Ole is because he knows if he loses, he could be sacked, Zidane could come and all of that. He's going to play not to lose football, play for the 0-0 draw. We're going to probably set up like Burnley versus Manchester City. And that's what worries me, because if we go into the Manchester City game and Ole's like, we can get 3 points for them, let's do what we did last year, hit them on the counter, do attack, score the goals, we could beat Manchester City 3-4-0. We almost beat Manchester City 4-0 at the Etihad. We deserve to win that game 4-0. We've played very, very well against Manchester City. But Manchester City are a good side like Liverpool, and look what a good side did to us. With the way we're playing now, the fact that bad sides are coming to Old Trafford, and Everton's side without Richarlison, without Dominic Calvert-Lewin, come to Old Trafford, outplay us. Aston Villa, who have been shocking this season, come to Old Trafford and completely outplay us, by the way, guys. How many, Liverpool smashed us out the park. Leicester team that hasn't been that great this season, and, Arsenal made that Leicester team look shite, come to Old Trafford and absolutely outplay us. The writing's on the wall for Manchester City is you come to Old Trafford and absolutely embarrass us. That it could be a 3-4-0 because the way we played versus Atalanta weren't great. And I know Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to go with his McFred and he's going to go with his Maguire and his same underperforming players. And do I think they're going to perform versus Manchester City? No. And do I think Ole's going to part the bus versus Manchester City? Yes. And do I think we could cause some problems? Potentially, but only if we attack them. And, Manchester City are quite smart. Pep's quite a smart manager. Pep will probably tell his midfielders to surround Bruno. And if Bruno gets surrounded, then the attackers get no service, because with the way we play, if we play with McFred, we're relying on Bruno for every single bit of creativity, and he could just freeze us out in that sense. But I think if we get thrashed, Ole will definitely be sacked. I think the pressure on the Glazers would just be too much. But I couldn't tell you if I thought we were going to get a result or not from this game, because you just don't know what Manchester United are like. It's Manchester City. We always get a result against them in the Premier League, but with the way we're playing, they could absolutely bend us over backwards and rape us. Like, absolutely. So I'm not sure now. Do you know what? I saw someone tweet this earlier, and it's the pain of being a Manchester United fan, because I really want us to beat Manchester City tomorrow, but I also want Ole Gunnar Solskjaer sacked, because I don't believe he's the man to manage Manchester United, and it's really, really hard because I want us to win tomorrow, but I want Ole to be sacked. And the only way Ole gets sacked is if we lose, but I don't want us to lose, because then someone like Arsenal go above us, and then you can't go on Twitter. It'd be so unbearable. So it puts us in this really frustrating situation. It's like, so we win, brilliant. Oh no, Ole stays. It's like El Sacco. We beat Spurs 3-0. If you beat Spurs 3-0, surely you should be the happier team. 2 days after El Sacco, Spurs get Conte. Spurs fans are a lot happier than Man United fans right now, despite being on the back of a 3-0 loss to us. We won El Sacco, but we lost the war. What's the thing? You might have won the battle, but you lost the war. And that's what it felt like, beating Spurs. I felt so great to beat Spurs, like 3-0. Good, we've got that 3 points. That's so, so important. And then I feel like versus Manchester City, if we beat Manchester City, we got equal in points with Manchester City. But that means Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's staying until probably Christmas time, potentially. And that means Zidane's not coming international break. And obviously I want Ten Hag. And would I be prepared to stay with Ole to the end of the season if it meant we got Ten Hag? Yes. But I would only stay with Ole till the end of the season if we were 100% getting Ten Hag and it wasn't just a PR spin leaked. But then a part of me is like, if we keep Ole to the end of the season, we could be in the Europa League, or good players could leave, and we'll be looking at another rebuild under Ten Hag. I would love Ten Hag to come in the international break and see what he can do with this Manchester United squad, because this current Manchester United squad is very, very good, by the way, guys. And I feel like Ten Hag could seriously do a job with this current Manchester United squad. But at the end of the day, what are your guys' thoughts? Because I actually want to know, because, at the end of the day, when we lost to Spurs, I always want us to beat Spurs. I never want us to lose. But when we lost to Spurs, I actually understood why United fans wanted us to lose, because the day after we lost to Spurs fans are happier than us, because Nuno gets that, they get Conte. We beat Spurs 3-0, but Spurs fans are happier than us right now because they got Conte. And it's like, I understand why there were fans that wanted us to lose to Spurs, because look who's happier right now, Spurs fans. But I still don't want to lose to Manchester City, despite if we do lose, there's a chance Zidane could come. There's a chance Zidane could come if we do lose, but if we win or draw, he doesn't come. And I want to win that game. I don't want to draw. I think draw is the worst case scenario, because you stay with Ole and you don't even win. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to draw that game. And it's that whole, I want Ole gone, but I want to win. And I can't, Man City are rivals. I need to win versus Manchester City, but I also want the owners to suck Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, which they won't. And look, do I think we'll win, guys? We could get bent over backwards and raped. We could dominate the game. Ole has a thing versus Pep. I'm going to say that now. Ole has a thing versus Pep. So the game could potentially go our way. There's no Cavani, there's no Varane, there's no Paul Pogba. They're three big misses. I would play Anthony Martial, in popular opinion, because he scored in Anthony Martial's last 3 games versus Manchester City. He scored 2 goals. In the game that he didn't score a goal in, he was still man of the match despite not scoring. Anthony Martial always causes Manchester City problems. I'm going to say this again. Ole's going to sit back and park the bus against Manchester City. Ole's going to play not to lose football because if Ole knows if he loses to Manchester City, his job could potentially be gone. You know, Ole's job's kind of gone if we lose to Manchester City. So he's going to play defensive negative football. But again, as I said earlier, I believe if we go out and we attack Manchester City and we play attacking football, and we play good football, we could cause Manchester City problems. Martial made Diaz look like crap. Martial made Diaz look like Maguire. Maguire the other day has been absolutely awful. David Lee saying 8-2 City. And Niall Kane says, Alice, pains me to say this, that United have missed a trick by not appointing Conte when there was a chance of getting Conte as United manager. Do you know what will really annoy me, actually? If Ole plays 5 at the back tomorrow versus Manchester City, and I can understand why he does because it's Manchester City, but if Ole continues his 5 at the back and we start playing 5 at the back, then I'm going to be furious we didn't appoint Conte, because the only thing I had against Antonio Conte was him playing 5 at the back. I thought with Sancho, with Rashford, with Martial, with Lingard, with Amad Diallo, with all our strength being wingers, I was like, I don't want a manager that's playing 5 at the back. Yet our own shit manager is just doing a shitter version of Conte's 5 at the back. You know, that's the problem. And, you know, for me, I'd like Zidane in the international break. You play a 4-3-3. I can show you the team I think Zinedine Zidane will play in a second if you want. Maguire must be dropped. What's your view on this? I agree Maguire should be dropped, but if Varane's injured, you can't drop Maguire. That's the problem. I think if Varane's injured, do we drop Maguire? I think if Varane's fit, I play Varane and Bailly. If Rafael Varane is fit, I play Varane and Bailly, by the way, guys. But unfortunately, Varane is injured again because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer rushed them back. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's job was on the line. Varane came back over a week early for Manchester United. He gets injured again. He's out for the Manchester derby. Our manager is selfish. I'm going to say this now. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he might appear like a nice guy, but he is a selfish, stubborn manager. He will play McTominay, Rashford, Maguire and Varane injured because he just hopes they're not going to get injured again because he needs them. He can't play without them. And the funny thing is, we've got so much depth in this Manchester United squad. Harry Maguire, did you know this came out, by the way, guys, that Harry Maguire was still 10 days off being fit for the Leicester game. When we lost 4-2 to Leicester, Maguire was still 10 days off being fit, and we had a fully fit Eric Bailly sitting on the bench. Our manager ignored a fully fit Eric Bailly and played a Maguire that was still 10 days away from being fit. And, you know, and we see this Eric Bailly play versus Atalanta. He's man of the match. Tell me why Ole Gunnar Solskjaer must see Ole Gunnar Solskjaer sees Eric Bailly in training. We see what Eric Bailly does on the pitch. We know Bailly's a great player, but Ole Gunnar Solskjaer would rather have a Maguire back 10 days before he's meant to be back injured, who has not trained, than play a fully fit Eric Bailly. That's a sackable offence in itself. Maguire was the worst player on the pitch versus Leicester, and he played over the likes of Eric Bailly. Zidane is scared of the Premier League, it says at Brain Sample. Well, Zidane did turn down Newcastle because he prefers United, according to reports in Spain. Zidane isn't eager to get back into management, but the reports coming out from Spain is that Zidane would be ready to accept a Manchester United job in the break. We obviously know Zidane has a relationship with Pogba, Ronaldo, Varane. He did want Donny and all of that. If Lindelof isn't fit and is rushed back tomorrow, if Lindelof plays tomorrow, if Lindelof's not fit, Lindelof ain't fit, by the way, guys. Lindelof has a knock. Lindelof should not be playing tomorrow. If Eric Bailly is dropped and Lindelof plays tomorrow, that is a sackable offence by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I have nothing against Lindelof. I think Maguire should be dropped before Lindelof should be dropped. But Lindelof has a knock. Eric Bailly was a man of the match in his last game, and Harry Maguire's been shit all season. I know it's going to be Maguire and Lindelof tomorrow. I know he's going to start Maguire and Lindelof tomorrow. And if a fully fit Eric Bailly is on the bench for a half-fit Lindelof, that is a sackable offence in itself because Eric Bailly took his chance. He was man of the match and he deserves to start tomorrow. He's been better than Maguire and he's been better than Lindelof this season. And even Solskjaer said that Eric Bailly played really, really well versus Atalanta. And believe it or not, Solskjaer said, Donny van de Beek made an impact on the game. Solskjaer actually complimented Jadon Sancho, Donny van de Beek and Eric Bailly after the Atalanta game. And if Solskjaer is as a manager that doesn't lie, then we should see Eric Bailly starting tomorrow, and we should see at least Donny and Sancho used off the bench if Solskjaer's a manager doesn't lie. Because Solskjaer says if players that don't start regularly take their chance, they will start more. Well, Eric Bailly's taking his chance, so he better start tomorrow. Varane injured and Lindelof injured. It's criminal if he doesn't start. Donny and Jadon Sancho made an impact off the bench, so I'd like to see them come on in at least 70th minute tomorrow, Ollie, if you're not a liar. So sub them on. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going on saying that if players take their chance, they'll play. Bailly took his chance, Solskjaer, so I want to see Eric Bailly play. I want to see Jadon Sancho play. I think Jesse Lingard's taken his chance when he's come on as a sub, and I think Nemanja Matic has taken their chance when they come on the sub, but he's not going to drop the thread. And one thing that massively infuriates me is we've seen Ronaldo benched, we've seen Cavani benched, we've seen Pogba benched, we've seen Greenwood benched, we've seen Sancho benched, we've seen Rashford benched, we've seen Martial benched. We've seen every player benched this season but McTominay and Fred. It's like when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer picks his lineup, it's like De Gea, McTominay, Fred, Luke Shaw, Maguire, Wan-Bissaka, all nailed on starters. If Varane, he's nailed on starter. And then it's like, okay, we'll rotate the others in. And that's what infuriates me getting about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. McTominay and Fred have not been brilliant this season. I know Pogba's off, but I think Donny and Matic should be starting. They won't. Donny and Matic won't start. But as you guys saw yesterday, in 5 minutes with Donny and Matic on the pitch, we did more than what McTominay and Pogba did on the whole pitch. I'm going to throw this out here now. And I will talk about the Pogba PR spin. And I do think Pogba's been, I think they're Man United are throwing Pogba under the bus at the moment. Pogba was crap versus Atalanta. Donny van de Beek in 5 minutes did what Pogba did in that whole game. Donny van de Beek in 5 minutes did more than what Pogba did in that whole game. And Pogba's leaving at the end of the season. Pogba's a player that wants to leave Manchester United at the end of his contract that hasn't been particularly good these last few games. I know he started the season on fire, and we're still playing him over Donny van de Beek. I mean, it's more criminal that Fred start week in, week out. But, I'm even saying that shouldn't Donny, Donny did more in 5 minutes than Pogba did in 70-odd minutes, McTominay's been shit all season. He had one good game versus Spurs, and that's his first good game in nearly a year. Fred's had one good game versus Atalanta, has been pretty crap. I think it's criminal that I think Donny and Matic should start. They won't start, but if you actually go with form and who deserves a chance, it's Bailly at the back, it's Donny and Matic in the pivot, and you know what? Let's give Jadon Sancho a go at right wing, because I tell you this now, Jadon Sancho has got put into a shit underperforming Manchester United side. I think put Jadon Sancho in the side with Donny and Matic in the pivot where we control the midfield, play the ball around quickly. He'll be good. Sancho's an intelligent player. He makes runs. He can break down teams. Donny's an intelligent player. Ole subs Sancho and Donny on for 5 minutes versus Atalanta. And how many forward runs did they make? We almost scored 2 goals on the pitch. We had the best 5 minutes of our game when they were on the pitch because they're intelligent players that they can break down teams and they can make those runs. We couldn't break down Atalanta. We kept losing the ball in the final third because we didn't have the passes. They're great passers of the ball and they're technical players. Donny made that run that created the goal in the end. Donny made another run and almost scored. Sancho was involved in both of that because Sancho and Donny are absolutely incredibly talented players. And I think, again, it's absolutely criminal that they are not starting because McTominay and Fred run around a lot. And it's like these technical good players should be playing. And I think I've always said this about Jadon Sancho. Jadon Sancho's problem is he's been put into a Manchester United side that's underperforming, only had 3 or 4 starts, hasn't been great, but the whole team's been shit. So it's nothing particular to Sancho. And now he's getting the Donny van de Beek treatment. I think play Donny and Matic in the pivot, play expansive football, put Sancho on that right-hand side, control the ball. McTominay and Pogba, when they're in the midfield, they get overrun, they can't control the ball, they give it away. McTominay and Pogba lost possession more times in the midfield versus Atalanta than pretty much any other midfield pivot this season. Fred gives the ball away a lot. Donny and Matic are our 2 midfielders that can control games because they don't give the ball away stupidly and can move the ball far forward quickly. Put Sancho in a team that controls the midfield, moves the ball forward quickly, an intelligent team, a technical team. I think Jadon Sancho will thrive. And Jadon Sancho has been dropped from the England squad. And this was another one of my talking points. And I will get into a few live chats in just a second, so bear with me, guys. But Jadon Sancho has been dropped from the England squad. And that makes me really, really upset that Sancho's been dropped from the England squad. It makes me really, really disappointed. I'm like, poor Sancho. He's, but it's, Lingard's been dropped. And it's not their fault. It's Ole's fault because he's not playing them. Martial, Donny, Sancho and Lingard are all 4 good enough players for playing international football. They've all been dropped because the manager has frozen them out for his favourites. He's frozen them out completely for his favourites, and it's criminal from Ollie. It's sackable from Ollie. Freezing out players like Jesse Lingard that comes on as a sub, goal assist. Donny that comes on the sub, makes an impact, and was man of the match in his last 2 starts for Manchester United. You know, he gets frozen out. Jadon Sancho, who's not been given a chance because the whole team's underperforming, but he's the one that gets benched instead of the same underperforming Fred or Scott McTominay. You know, it's criminal that all these players are being sub, you know, and it infuriates me. And one more thing about the international break until I actually get into the actual news, but one more thing. Southgate came out, by the way, guys, and he made some comments on Mason Greenwood. You know, Southgate's always getting asked why Mason Greenwood isn't picked, and I always assumed that Mason Greenwood not being picked was maybe something to do with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, blah, blah, blah. Southgate said this: Greenwood recognises if he doesn't get it right over a long period or doesn't nail down the situation at his current club, there maybe isn't an England career anyway. I'm like, what? Southgate saying if Greenwood doesn't get it right over a long period or doesn't nail the situation down at his club, there isn't an England career for him anyway. I'm just going to throw this out now. Mason Greenwood has had more minutes than any other attacker picked for the England squad. And Southgate saying Greenwood hasn't got enough minutes in him, he's not playing regularly enough, he needs to be a first-team starter in the team. Mason Greenwood is already a first-team starter in a Manchester United squad with probably the best and most competitive attack in the world. Ronaldo, Cavani, Martial, Lingard, Sancho, Rashford, Paul Pogba on the wing that Greenwood has to compete with. That's 7 elite players Greenwood has to compete with on the wing. And Greenwood is our top scorer in the Premier League this season, joint with Ronaldo on 4. Greenwood has 5 goal contributions in a team that's underperforming. He's getting picked regularly in a team that's probably the most competitive in attack. I think we have the best depth in attack. I think Manchester United have the best depth in attack in the world. Greenwood's getting regular minutes. Greenwood's got more minutes than any other attacker in that England squad. Greenwood's got more goals in the Premier League than any other attacker in that England squad. So out of all the attackers picked for England, Greenwood has the most goals, the most minutes, and is playing in the most competitive attack. Yet he's not being picked for England because Southgate says Greenwood needs to get it right over a long period. He needs to nail down his current situation at club, or there isn't an England situation anyway. Southgate, if you've not watched Manchester United this season, Greenwood is a regular starter, getting regular minutes and scoring regular goals, and has been one of our better performers. It's criminal that Harry Kane's been shit, Sterling's been shit, Jack Grealish ain't been that good, Bukayo Saka is not better than Mason Greenwood. We all know that. Tammy Abrahams is playing in the Farmers League. You know, he was frozen out. It's criminal how Southgate absolutely picks his favourites. And I thought that comment just made me laugh. I was just like, what an idiot. What an absolute idiot, guys. That's what that comment made me think. Only 126 likes needed for 300 likes. By the way, guys, we're trying to get 300 likes by the end of the video, so make sure you smash that like button if you have not already. Getting 300 likes would be absolutely incredible. And just to let you guys know, this video, by the way, is sponsored by Manscaped. If you use the code ATF, you can get 20% off Manscaped plus free shipping with the promo code ATF. Link pinned in the description. Link pinned in the live chat. Link pinned in the description to Manscaped. This is the lawnmower razor thing. I'm not a man, obviously, believe that or not, but women like men that use Manscaped. Women like men that use Manscaped because, you know, they're tidy down there, and this is the best you can get. It's waterproof, so you can use it in the shower, and it's got length sizes 1 to 4. So, and you know what they say, trimming the bush makes the tree look taller. So do go download Manscaped, link in the description as well. But let's go for 300 likes, so keep smashing that like button. But I do want to share my screen with you guys and get into the leaked lineup for the Manchester derby. Here's, okay, let's go. Can you see that on your screen? You can. Okay. So, Thingy-majiggy is not 100% fit in a Lindelof, so I'm going to put Bailly in. Now, I would not be surprised if he plays an injured Lindelof over Eric Bailly, but for me, that would be a sackable defence from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer if he does do that. But this is the leaked lineup, by the way. Can you believe who's playing in the pivot, guys? McTominay in Fred. Can you believe that? So this is the current leaked lineup for tomorrow's game. By the way, Cavani is injured. Pogba's obviously suspended. Varane is injured as well. Greenwood, Sinch, Rashford, and Ronaldo. This is the lineup apparently playing tomorrow, according to some leaked sources, with Cavani's injured. No 5 at the back. This would be really interesting. I think Ole's going to be a coward and play 5 at the back, and we're going to have Ronaldo and Rashford to split striker, because I think it's going to be a really, really similar formation to what we did against Atalanta, but Luke Shaw left centre-back and Teller's left wing-back. That is the rumoured lineup. Look, if I was Manchester United manager, do you know what I'd play? If I was Manchester United manager, I'd be playing Matic, and I'd be playing Donny. Yeah, and I'd play Donny like that. I'd play a bit of a 4-3-3. Baye's got pace at the back, so I'm not too worried about Matic being slow. And I'd play Sancho. If I was Manchester United manager, this is the lineup I would play. But will we see that from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? No, we won't. What is Fred doing in the lineup for sure? Why not Van de Beek? Well, this is the lineup I will do, but Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will do this lineup with Muck, Fred, and probably Greenwood. Now, I do like Mason Greenwood, but I would play Jadon Sancho over Mason Greenwood, because I think if we're playing Rashford as a left winger, we should be playing Sancho as a right winger, because Rashford and Greenwood are very, very similar as wingers. They're kind of like inside forwards. They like to cut in and score. They're not going to provide any service for Ronaldo. So Ronaldo's completely reliant on Bruno, and Pep Guardiola's smart. Pep will know that Bruno's our only source of creativity if we play Fred with Rashford and Greenwood on the wings. So Pep will get the midfield to completely block Bruno out the game. So we won't provide anything going forward, because Fred won't be able to pass it to Bruno. They can't break the lines. If Bruno doesn't get on the ball much, nothing's going to happen. Now, if you play Jadon Sancho, there's another creator up there, so it takes the pressure off Bruno. Greenwood's going to cut in and score and be selfish. Rashford likes to cut in and score. You know, Rashford's good for running in behind, which will be useful versus Manchester City. Sancho provides that creativity for Ronaldo, and I would rather play Sancho in this game than Mason Greenwood, because I think this will be a good game for Sancho, especially if he makes an impact in the derby as well. I would play Matic and Donny, because they can move the ball quickly and get the ball quickly to Sancho. So, you know, I think one of the reasons we play badly is because Fred lose the ball, they get dominated in the field, and that means players like Sancho don't get much time on the ball to do anything anyway, and the whole team's performing badly. I think if you played Matic and Donny, because they're intelligent, they make the runs, they can break the lines, they can get the ball to Sancho quickly, and if Sancho gets the ball quickly, he's got the space to make an impact, get that ball into Ronaldo, and actually start his Manchester United career off. For me, look, if Eric Bailly doesn't play tomorrow, it's criminal. If Varane's injured and Lindelof's not fully fit, Bailly has to start. If you're gonna drop one of your defenders for Lindelof, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, drop Maguire. He deserves to be dropped, not Eric Bailly as well. So smash a like on the video if you don't want to see Eric Bailly dropped. Paul says, Ole out, guys, and a lot of people are saying Ole out, and I'm still Ole out. Even if we win this game tomorrow, I will still be Ole Gunnar Solskjaer out, because I do not like a manager that is not playing good football, that is consistently playing poor football, that is underperforming and still sticking with his favourites. We are not Manchester United FC anymore. We are Favourites FC. We are Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's Favourites FC. And that's what I don't like about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Stubbornness to pick favourites. The same underperforming players being picked week in, week out. And I don't like it. I want to see the players that deserve to play get rewarded and actually get the minutes they deserve. Guys, please do smash a like on the video if you have not already. And if you're not subscribed to Alice Talks Football, please do go ahead and subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football. I do daily Manchester United content on my channel. I'm going to be live tomorrow for the Manchester United versus Manchester City watch along, and then I'll be live after the match for my match reactions. So if you want my thoughts on the Manchester Derby tomorrow, and if you want to join my watch along with the Manchester Derby tomorrow, make sure you subscribe, because I do daily Manchester United news updates. And as I said earlier in the video, if we lose the Manchester Derby and if we get embarrassed again at Old Trafford to Manchester City, there's a high chance Ole Gunnar Solskjaer could be sacked. So in the international break, I'll be giving you all the latest on Brendan Rodgers, Pochettino, Zinedine Zidane, and Erik ten Hag. So make sure you subscribe as well, because if we do lose, there would definitely be a lot of news about managers potentially coming in the international break as well. So make sure to subscribe for that, because Zidane to Manchester United is not over yet, and apparently he's waiting for the job, and he's ready to he's turned down Newcastle because he'd rather take the United job. And if we do lose tomorrow, there is a chance Ole's sat with the pressure on the Glazers. So if you're not subscribed, watch along the match reaction tomorrow and Zidane updates in the international break so you don't miss out on the news. And as Diego says, set your bell notifications on when you do subscribe, and of course, smash a like on the video. Sources say Varane will start. Varane's not going to start for a month. I'm not that source is definitely incorrect. Varane has been injured. He's out for a month. Luckily, the international break is coming at a right time. And Andrew says the board don't care anymore. The play is horrible. The results are going the wrong way. And we got thrashed by our biggest rivals at home and no action taken. And you're absolutely right, Andrew. The board don't care unless it starts affecting their pockets. So if it looks like we've got no chance of getting top 4, they will sack Ole. If there's a protest and it starts affecting their pockets, they will sack Ole. But the board will only sack Ole if it's going to help their pocket money go up. The reason they didn't sack Ole is because if they get a new manager's going to demand ambition from the board. It's going to demand backing from the board. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's their puppet. He's not going to say, I want another. He's not going to demand backing. He's quite cheap to employ. And, if they sack Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, they have to pay him. It costs to get a new manager in. And then if you get a new manager in, you've got to get new players. With Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because he's not ever going to get a better job than the one he's in now, he's happy just letting the Glazers do what they do because he's just happy to be in this position. And that's what the Glazers like about Ole, because he's weak. He doesn't challenge them. I know if Conte had come to Manchester United, he'll challenge the Glazers. He'll be like, I want this player. No, I do not want the cheaper alternative. This is the player I want. Why is Woodward doing this? Why is Woodward still here? Why are the coaches crap? Conte would come in, he'd say, these coaches need to go, these staff need to go, this is not good, I want this player, and he'll demand backing, he'll demand money spent on him, he'll demand finance backing. And that's why they didn't want Conte. That's why they look at Brendan Rodgers. That's why they look at Mauricio Pochettino. Because what do Brendan Rodgers and Mauricio Pochettino have in common? They didn't actually spend that much money, but they've done good with their clubs. Poch barely spent any money at Spurs, but he did very, very well. And that's why United like him. United like Brendan Rodgers because, again, he did decent on a low budget. United want a manager that can do well on a low budget because since Sir Alex Ferguson, we haven't had a manager that can produce good results on a low budget because Sir Alex Ferguson is a 1 in a million manager. If we had Pep Guardiola in, I still don't think we'd win the league because Pep needs the top players. So, Jurgen Klopp could do a job on the low budget. Pep couldn't. Okay, I say this now. Jurgen Klopp could probably do a job on a low budget. Sir Alex could. Poch did a job on the low budget at Spurs. Brendan Rodgers doing a job on a low budget at Leicester, although he's going a bit downhill at the moment. The Glazers want a manager that can do a good job on the low budget. So that's why Brendan Rodgers and Pochettino are priority over the likes of Conte and Zidane because they don't expect as much backing. They want another Sir Alex. The Glazers want another Sir Alex where he's just going to win title after title after title, not spend that much money, but no one's going to question that they're not spending that much money because we're winning the league anyway, so no one fucking cares because the manager's producing miracles. And unfortunately, that's what the Glazers want. That's what owners want. It's a complete lack of ambition at this club. It's a disgrace, but unfortunately, that's the situation we're in. And until we get new owners, that's not going to change. And look, at the end of the day, whether you're Ole out or whether you're Ole in, I think we can all agree on one thing: the Glazers are a much bigger problem than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at Manchester United. If keeping Ole for another year meant the Glazers went at the end of the year, I'd be all for it because the Glazers, at the end of the day, Ole does like the club. He's just not very good at his job. The Glazers don't care. So you know what? That's the thing. The Glazers have back to clown, says David Lee, and Alice over Zidane, says Jane and Sancho. And finally, Ole will be sacked if we lose tomorrow. Yes, I'm not going to say Ole's 100% getting sacked if we lose tomorrow because, look, I was convinced he'd be sacked after Liverpool. I'm still shocked he wasn't sacked after Liverpool. I couldn't sit here and go, Ole's 100% being sacked. But I think if we do lose tomorrow, if there's a candidate available in the international break, I think it'll be very hard for Ole to keep his job. I think it'll be very, very hard for Ole to keep his job if we do lose tomorrow because I think the pressure on the fans start to revolt. And when the fans start to revolt, the Glazers lose money. And I think that's why it would be in a very, very hard situation for Ole to keep his job. Yes, as I've already told you, they were waiting for Zidane that he will be available on that date, and that's why they're sticking with Ole. There were reports, and it wasn't from the most reliable sources, that the reason we didn't go for Conte is because we prefer Zidane, but Zidane wasn't willing to come into the international break, hence why we kept Ole to the international break. There were rumours that we kept Ole to the international break because our ideal management candidate, Zidane, wasn't going to join till then. That was a rumour, by the way, guys. But again, it wasn't coming from like tier 1 sources, so I kind of just, took it off the shoulder. But again, potentially, that there's a lot of stories that Ole got these 3 games to try and revive his job, blah, blah, blah. He's got 3 games to save his job. We gave Ole these 3 games because in the international break, they can recruit who they want. They didn't want Conte. And look, I believe it kind of makes sense now because their sources were saying, we didn't want Conte and that's why we kept with Ole because we didn't want Conte. And to be fair, I don't think we ever wanted Conte because I think if Manchester United really wanted Conte, he wouldn't have gone to Spurs. Ole's going to be sacked by the end of the season. Where it's going, I can't see Ole being here this time next year. I think Ole will be sacked by the end of the season. The reason Conte wasn't waiting, the reason Conte took that Spurs job is because he knows if Ole's sacked, we're not going to go for him because we prefer Zidane, we prefer Ten Hag, we prefer Pochettino. And maybe the reports that, we gave Ole the 3 games and we want to go for Zidane international, but it could be true with the reports going out from Spain that Zidane turned down Newcastle because he wants United. But again, the Glazers won't sack Ole unless they have to, and I think we'd have to lose to Manchester City. There'd have to be a lot of pressure for him to be sacked. I think we win or draw, Ole stays. Andrew said that Zinedine Zidane is his top choice, but Conte actually wanted to come, and he's easily one of the best managers in the sport. That was a mistake. Yeah, I prefer Zidane to Conte just because Zidane plays more attacking football forward at the back, and he's got a relationship with a lot of our players. But Conte's done it in the Premier League. He's got more experience in the Premier League and he actually wanted to come and he was desperate to come. You could tell by the PR. So Conte could have been a really, really good choice. And look, we've missed out on a trip with Conte going to Spurs. And I tell you this now, and I said this earlier, if, you know what, if Spurs get top 4 and we don't, that is on the Glazers. The Glazers will be kicking themselves if Spurs get top 4 and we don't. Because Conte gets them top 4. Imagine the madness. Like, actually imagine the madness. Now, look, I think Conte will win Spurs that stupid little UEFA Conference trophy, all of that. I don't think that Spurs squad is good enough to get top 4, but this Manchester United squad is good enough to be in a title race, and we're not in a title race. So sometimes it doesn't matter always about the squad, it's about the manager. And I think Conte would have been a great choice. Look, he's not there. And Zidane's the only one available in the international break. And if we lose tomorrow, Zidane is available. And reports coming out in the last few days that Zidane does want the job. So if we lose Zidane, if Zidane coming in is a possibility. But again, Glazers, they want to keep Ole all they can. So you never know. And all of that. And what about Ten Hag, guys? I would take Ten Hag in a heartbeat. I would love Ten Hag at Manchester United. I honestly... If Man United got Ten Hag in the international break, by the way, I doubt this is going to happen. I highly doubt this is going to happen. But if Manchester United got Ten Hag in the international break, I would sit here and go, United were right keeping Ole for 3 games and not getting Conte if it meant we got Ten Hag in the international break. I would say I'd be fine with our decision to give Ole 3 games and let Conte go to Spurs if we got Ten Hag in the international break. But I know we're not. If we're going to get someone in the international break, it's likely to be Zidane. And if Poch gets sacked, we would probably go back in for him. If Brendan Rodgers gets sacked, and look, he's not doing brilliant at Leicester, Brendan Rodgers could potentially be sacked as well. We could potentially go for Brendan Rodgers as well. You never know. But I mean, Ten Hag would be my first choice. And I think if we're going to get Ten Hag, it's going to be in the summer. But if we keep Ole to the summer, we're probably going to end up in the Europa League. And this is the thing. If we get a Champions League spot, Ole keeps his job. But if we get a Europa League spot, cool, we could get Ten Hag in, but then we're in the Europa League. So it's like a win-lose situation as well. I don't hate Ole. Like I like Ole, but I don't like him as our manager. Like I have no issue with Ole. It's not like I wouldn't want to punch him in the face or anything. I don't call him a PE teacher. I don't abuse him. I'm not the type to abuse Ole. I just sit here and say I don't like Ole's favoritism. I don't like the starting 11s Ole picks. I don't like the style of football playing under Ole. Ole should have been sacked after Liverpool. Any top club of ambition would have sacked Ole after Liverpool. At the end of the day, he's a manager that got the job of being a former player of the club, that did get Cardiff relegated, that is out of his depth with these players at Manchester United, and he's done a good job on getting us to second. I think Ole, like Frank Lampard, did a really good job in taking over that dead Mourinho squad, getting us there, getting us second. I was always Ole in until the Everton game. I've been Ole in until the Everton game. But I think, like Lampard, once he gets the big players and wants the pressures on to win trophies, to perform, to be in a title challenge, he crumbles. He doesn't have the tactics for it. He doesn't have the man management for it. Because if he had the man management for it, he'd be tougher on the underperforming players and reward the players that are performing well in training and give more players a chance. For me, I don't think Ole's a good enough manager to manage at the elite level now the pressure's on. Because if he's playing the same underperforming players, if he's playing the same tactics that aren't working, if he's reluctant to change things, you know, that's stubbornness, but that's also a sign of a manager who doesn't really know what he's doing because he's scared to change. And that's why I'm Ole out, to be fair. Ole is the same thing, and issues defeats Ole. It's the same thing in the football world, says Fidan. And Ole will always be a Man United legend, but he's a poor manager. Paul said it correctly. Like Ole will always be a legend. I don't hate Ole, but I just don't think he's good enough to be Manchester United manager. Zidane won't go to Manchester United, you're off your head. I never said Zidane will go to Manchester United. There's just reports coming out from Spain saying that Zidane turned down Newcastle because he's ready to take the Manchester United job if offered it in the international break. You know, Zidane might come. He's got Ronaldo, he's got Pogba, he's got Varane, he's got Martial, he's got Donny, all players that he likes. He's got a very, very good squad, but I think he would prefer the France job. I don't think he wants to go to England, but I'm just reporting on the news. I never said that Zidane is nailed on coming to Manchester United, by the way, and I don't see how Ole has any better than Josie did. Ole plays defensive football, doesn't play youth, and it's one sort of, yeah, I think Ole's just a BTEC Jose Mourinho. People used to say it, you know, before we got Bruno. A lot of people said before we got Bruno, the football we play under Ole is BTEC Jose Mourinho style. Then we got Bruno, we played good football for a bit, and then Ole's a BTEC Mourinho. It's defensive football. It's the same players playing who are his favourites, but he's not winning trophies. You know, Mourinho won trophies. I think Ole is probably a nicer guy than Mourinho, but again, I would agree to the fact that Ole probably is a BTEC Mourinho. Thank you very much for the super chat. Why did we buy Sancho? We should have gone for a CEM. I said this before. I like Jadon Sancho. We've needed a right winger ever since Nani's left. We've needed a right winger for ages, and I understand why we brought Sancho. But I can't understand how Sancho's not started one game as a right winger. He brought Sancho to fill in that right wing void. He's not played one game as a right winger. I guess Rashford's out, so he put him on the left. Cool. Sancho's not played one game as a right winger for Manchester United. He's not started one of our last 5 games. He's just come off the bench, and he's getting 5 minutes off the bench. He's getting the Donny treatment. We chased Jadon Sancho for 2 years. We spent £72 million on Jadon Sancho to bench him when we could have spent £72 million on Declan Rice. If we weren't going to play Sancho on the right-hand side and he wasn't going to become a regular player, why don't we go for Declan Rice and play him at CDM? Because Ole and Solskjaer, when things were going shit the other week, reports saying that Ole's fuming he never got a CDM in the summer and that Ole wants a CDM in January. All of a sudden, Ole wants a CDM now, not Sancho. All of a sudden, he wants a CDM now. That's the issue. So, Ole, if you never wanted Sancho, why did you spend 72 million on him just to not play him in his actual position and then bench him? And now you're getting it. Now you want a CDM. And you know what else is annoying me? So there's news about Tuchemini to Manchester United. I would love Tuchemini at Manchester United, but apparently it's a Paul Pogba replacement. If we replace Paul Pogba with Tuchemini, our midfield option. Donny's going to leave if Ole stays. Our midfield options are Fred, Pogba, and Tuchemini. Fred, McTominay, and Tuchemini. Fred, McTominay, and Tuchemini are all quite defensive-minded players. We need to replace Paul Pogba with a Tielemans, an actual box-to-box player. Do you know who'd be a great replacement for Paul Pogba? Donny van de Beek. But our stupid manager won't play him. Look, you know what? Replace Paul Pogba with Tuchemini and play Tuchemini and Donny van de Beek in the pivot, and that's a great midfield. Our manager won't do this. Tuchemini and Fred in the pivot. Fred's not going to do much going forward. Tuchemini and McTominay in the pivot. Maybe McTominay could be a Souček. But it's like, again, we want Tuchemini, but only to replace Pogba. We need a player to replace Pogba and Tuchemini, if you want my opinion. Zidane would headbutt Ole, says Braden. Yes, so Zidane will come. He understands Ronaldo around perfectly. He will use Pogba and Fernandes properly. Just imagine Pep, Klopp, Tuchel, Zidane in the same league, top best manager in the league, same league. The Premier League is the new Super League. The Premier League is miles ahead of every other league. But yeah, solid comment there. And the link-up between Bruno to both Cavani and CR7 was brilliant. I wonder if all 3 will start. Cavani will not start tomorrow, guys. Cavani is injured. Pogba's suspended and Varane is injured. Those 3 players won't start. And Lindelof is a doubt. There's the lineup on your screen is just the lineup I would play. I doubt Ole will play this lineup. If Ole plays this lineup, I will give him a round of applause. He won't play this lineup on the screen. That's just the lineup I would play. Guys, please do smash a like on the video if you have not already. And do subscribe to Alice Talks Up if you're not already subscribed to the channel, because I do daily United content on the channel. I am live tomorrow for a Manchester United versus Manchester City watch along. So if you're not subscribed, do subscribe for that as well, by the way, guys. And all that. Do you know what's funny though? Manchester City have lost 2 of their last 3 games. So actually, weirdly enough, Manchester City aren't in the best form of their career. Aren't in the best form going into this game. If we beat Manchester City, we do go equal in points with them tomorrow, which I think is absolutely crazy. You know, imagine we beat Manchester City and Arsenal, and imagine Man United, Man City, and Arsenal all equal on points. How embarrassing is that for us? Well, actually, how embarrassing is that for Manchester City as well? Like us all equal in points as well. That would be absolutely crazy. But hopefully, you know, we've got a bit more ambition than that. You know, we don't want to be finished equal in points with Arsenal. We want to finish above Arsenal. We want to beat Manchester City tomorrow. I want Ole out. I want Ole sat, but I don't want to lose tomorrow. My score prediction is I'm going to go 1-1 for tomorrow, because I honestly can't predict what's going to happen tomorrow, because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has a weird thing where he will beat Pep, but then with the way we've been playing, we could lose 5-0. I said this against Liverpool. I said when we play Liverpool, I said before the Liverpool match, I said we're either going to do an Ole masterclass and win 2-1, or we're going to lose 5-6-0, and we lost 5-0 to Liverpool. And I feel that way. I feel that way with the Manchester City game. Just, you know, we're either going to get thrashed or we're actually going to play well. Under unpopular opinion, I would give Tony Martial a chance. Always does well versus Manchester City. Causes them a lot of problems because he's very technical on the ball. I would give Martial a start. You know what I'd actually do? And I love Marcus Rashford. And he's always good versus Manchester City. But a part of me would play Martial and Sancho. People are going to think I'm absolutely mad. But Rashford's played a lot, and he's only just come back from injury. A part of me would play this lineup. And if Martial's shit, we can just sub Rashford on. But a lot of people disagree on that. It's just because Martial was man of the match in 2 of his last 3 games versus Manchester City. So that's the only reason I say that. But everyone's bound to disagree. And let me know your prediction down below. Some people predicting a 7-0 City win. People saying 10-0 City, 3-1 City, 5-0 City. Not much confidence going into the game, is there? Not much confidence at all. Smash a like on the video, guys, if you have not already. And if you're not subscribed to Alice Talks Football, as I said earlier, please do go down below and subscribe to the channel for daily Manchester United content. news updates and more. I'm live tomorrow for a Manchester United versus Manchester City watch along. So make sure you subscribe so you can stay up to date with that, daily content coming up on the channel, as well as a match reaction and all of that. But let me get into my sort of thoughts as we come towards the end of this live stream. I think we'll probably see Fred in the same lineup from Ollie tomorrow. I don't think we're going to see Donny or Sancho rewarded, despite them actually performing when they came on. I think if Varane is injured, I think Eric Bailly has to start tomorrow. I think if Lindelof, that's picked up a knock, plays over Bailly after Bailly was man of the match in his last game, that's a sackable offence from our manager. I think, we could see Luke Shaw at left centre-back and Ollie go to a 5-at-the-back system, because I do think it's going to be play not to lose, negative coward football from Ollie, because if Ollie does lose, his job's on the line, and potentially Zidane in the international break. But I'll give you more updates on that during the international break, because if we do lose, we'll have an idea of what's going to happen manager-wise over the international break. So make sure you subscribe for future updates. We talked about, is Ollie ruining Donny, Sancho, Lingard and Martial's career? Should they be getting more minutes? That was an earlier talking point. Obviously, Zidane ready to accept United according to reports in Spain, and he turned down Newcastle because he'd rather take United. And my question for all of you guys in the live chat, or you not watching live, is would you rather have Zinedine Zidane come in next week, or wait till the end of the season and get Erik ten Hag? Let me know down below. Would you wait till the end of the season and get Ten Hag, or would you take Zidane next week? Let me know your thoughts on that. And as I said earlier, we need to improve home form. We've been shit at home. We need to improve home form, and a win over City, one of our rivals, would be a great win. And I forgot to mention this earlier, actually, the Pogba PR spin. There's when we lost 5-0 to Liverpool, the day after we lost 5-0 to Liverpool, sources that got information from the club were leaking that there's no way Paul Pogba's signing a new deal at Manchester United. And I think Manchester United had done a PR spin to take the blame away from them and get people to hate on Paul Pogba. I think United deliberately Paul Pogba's 100% not staying news after the 5-0 loss to Liverpool to see if fans would turn on Paul Pogba and not Ollie and take the heat away from Ollie and the Glazers. I think Paul Pogba is starting to be used as a scapegoat by the club as a PR spin. I think they're doing it on purpose, saying Paul Pogba's leading, and the annoying thing is Paul Pogba was crap versus Atalanta. And you get a lot of people in the media that aren't going to focus on Ollie, but they're going to focus on Paul Pogba's individual performance. Paul Pogba's had some really good individual performances and some really poor ones this season. Well, our manager has been consistently poor in his tactics. I think that people are almost blaming Paul Pogba, because I think United are almost trying to, in a weird way, spin this on Paul Pogba. And I didn't like that from United. It did really annoy me. But I am going to wrap up the live stream in just a second. So do let me know your score predictions down below. But before I do wrap up the live stream, guys, remember this video is sponsored by Manscaped. There's a link in the description and a link pinned in the chat to go onto Manscaped. And if you use my promo code ATF, you can get 20% off plus free shipping. As you can see in my hand, let me go onto full screen so I can promote this better. As you can see in the hand, this is what they call like the lawnmower 4.0 Manscaped shaver. Yeah, I'm not a man. Why are you? People can be like, why are you promoting this, Alice? You're not a man. Like, why are you promoting this? Like, women like men that keep in good condition. And this is the best of the best you can get. It's a sleek, well-designed, optimized trimmer. It's the best thing on the market for a cleaner shave, and it's waterproof, by the way, guys. And you can trim in the shower and spare the mess. The Lawnmower 4.0 actually allows you to customize your trim through an additional guard with length sizes 1 to 4. So you know what they say, trimming the bushes makes the tree look taller, and girls like men that use Manscaped. So go download that, link in the description, link pinned in the chat if you do want one of these. There's lots of other stuff on the Manscaped website, but my code can get you 20% off plus free shipping and all of that. But thank you very much for watching this live stream. Please do smash a like on the video if you have not already, and subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you're not subscribed. Yeah, I'm back tomorrow with a Manchester United versus Manchester City watch along. I'll be live at 12:15 UK time tomorrow for the Man United versus Manchester City watch along. So I will see you guys then. So do subscribe for that, and then I will be live about an hour after full time for my match reaction to the Manchester derby. Will it be Ollie's? Voice is gone. That was a weird noise. Will it be Ollie's last game as Manchester United manager, or will Ollie get another win over Pep Guardiola in the Manchester derby? We'll only have to wait and see, but we'll know this time tomorrow. So smash a like, subscribe, share the video. Thanks everyone for tuning into the live chat. Thanks for the support and all of that. And yeah, see you next time. Bye.